Hello and welcome back to the Sideboard here at the StarCityGames.com Invitational in Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Ruben Bressler and I'm joined by Ben Heath.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm not bad, how are you?
I'm good. You might be able to tell by the accent that you're an Englishman.
I am indeed.
You were one of the two Englishmen that decided to make the trip to this here Invitational.
Yep.
And you guys did well enough at the Invitational qualifier in, was it Manchester?
Doncaster.
Or it was Doncaster,
yeah,
in England. It was held a couple of months ago or something.
January, yep.
Yeah. And we made a little bit of a deal about it on Star City Games Facebook page, and we're promoting it a little bit. Had a great turnout, and we were having a fun time following along. But we always like it when people come from other continents to come to play in our tournaments. So tell us a little bit about why you and who else came with you, and tell us about why you decided to make the trip to this tournament.
Well, I came with Ross Silcock, who just happens to be my housemate, and I was always going to go. I've always wanted to play in the Star City Games Invitational because I watch it like practically every time there's an open on.
Sure.
So I wanted to test my mettle, so to speak. So I decided to come along, combining multiple birthday presents.
Cool, that's awesome. And did it live up to expectations? Did you, when you got to play against people like Jerry Thompson and Brian Braunduin and people who are big on the Open Series, and you tested yourself against them, did you find that they stacked up with what you expected?
The quality of my opponents at the Invitational was certainly higher than I would say an English PTQ. Like I played 4 very good legacy players in the first 4 rounds before
Standard, sure.
Yeah.
And so this is an experience that's quite wild, and we always talk to our out of countrymen, as I decided to call them just there, and see how their experience is going. But have you ever been to an event this large before, like Grand Prix or something else like that?
I've been to 3 Grand Prix. I've made 1 day 2, but that was my last Grand Prix, which was a year ago. Mm-hmm. So in terms of an event this scale, this is for me is like a once in a year thing.
Sure. And that IQ that took place in Doncaster was a big event. I don't know if they're planning.
180 people.
Yeah, it was 180 people, which is pretty large, even for most PTQ sizes. And coming up later this summer, or as they're already underway, I think, are the World Magic Cup qualifiers.
Yep, there's one happening in England as we speak, I believe.
Yeah, and you're planning on going to a couple more later in the summer?
I will go to the second and the third one, that's correct.
Now, United States players, we can't really do that because we have 3 World Magic Cup qualifiers,
yep,
but they are in different corners of the country. There's one being run by Star City Games in Washington, D.C., there's one in California, and there's one in St. Louis or Chicago or somewhere in the middle of the country. It's very difficult to go to all 3. But for a country that's smaller in square mileage,
yep,
the new system compared to the old system, it's a lot better. Do you find that people who played back then find this one preferential?
To be honest with you, we preferred Nationals.
Okay.
Nationals was like a festival of Magic, and also at the time we were United Kingdom, so we're England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland.
Right.
Now with 3 WMCQs, English players tend not to travel. If players live in the north, they'll tend to not travel to the south, and vice versa.
Sure.
For us, a couple of hours is too long.
Sure. That's sort of weird considering, in the United States, we're located in Roanoke, Star City Games, and we drove 7 hours to get here and 14 hours to get to Orlando.
Yeah, my round 2 opponent in the Standard Open today had travelled 800 miles, and that's practically unheard of in the UK.
Right, that's almost not almost as far as you did, but yeah, certainly more than you might travel in a given year.
For sure.
So, on any one trip, let's not, Anyway, let's not get carried away. But so we were talking earlier before we started doing this interview about how you were a Naya Blitz proponent.
I played Red Green Aggro in the Invitational Standard portion, then I switched to Naya Blitz for the Standard Open.
Now, there are lots of different variations on the Red Green Aggro, Naya Blitz, Naya Aggro, going all the way up to mid-range strategies, top ending with Aurelia's, or Aurelia the War Leader.
Yeah.
Of the myriad of choices that you could have, playing Domri, not playing Domri, playing Gore Clan Rampager, not playing Gore Clan Rampager, playing all the 1-drops, playing only some of the 1-drops, playing no 1-drops, what have you found is your favorite of those strategies.
All the 1 drops, all the 1/2 drops, some of the 3 drops.
Sure.
And Gold Climb Rampager, so you can go 4/4 trample.
Right. And using that more like a pump spell, that more like a
Yeah,
colossal might.
it's a combat trick. Whenever I've cast Gold Climb Rampager, I've gone on to lose the game,
Sure.
but it's been out of necessity.
Nice. Well, yeah, I certainly personally I prefer the Naya Blitz strategies that have all the Boros Elite and all
Yeah,
the
it's what I played today.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's definitely a fun deck and something you have to keep an eye out for. So I hesitate to ask if you're ever going to come back to a Star City Open again, but how did you feel about the tournament setting in general?
You'd never get something like this in the UK. I would probably come back, but I'm a student, so I'd have to save up quite a lot of money
Sure.
whilst doing my full-time studies.
Sure.
But if I ever have the money, I would probably return.
Absolutely. Well, we hope that you come back. I'm certainly glad to have met you, Ben. Thank you so much for joining me.
No worries.
We're going to toss to the booth, I believe, and for the next round of coverage here at Star City Games Atlanta.
Bye.